Okay, we're here live at Maverick Festival in the depths of Suffolk, as you can hear probably by the band on the main stage behind us. And in the old Victorian milking shed with me is Don Gallardo. Hi Don.
And Travis
Stock, who you will see shortly. Yeah, you'll see him on a couple of the videos that we've got and that we'll be posting shortly on our YouTube channel. For someone who hasn't seen you before, you know, perhaps this is the first time, can you give us a quick introduction? You know, who are you and what's it all about?
I'm an Americana folk songwriter that writes my own music. A little bit of Johnny Cash, a little bit of Bob Dylan, a little bit of Tom Petty, blended in one.
Okay, and have you always had aspirations to be a musician? Was this always your destination, your destiny?
Yeah, I used to sing all the time as a little kid, and my parents would always make fun of me. But we had these neighbors that were their last name was the Veblen's, and whenever I'd be in my room singing, my parents would go, "Oh, the Veblen's cat's screaming again." So they used to make fun of me all the time as a little kid. So.
Okay, and what were your expectations when you started on the journey, you know, to being a musician?
The first band I was ever in, I was in a band with my younger brother, and we were in college, which you all call university, together, and we had a 4-5-piece band, and I just always loved music, and I always listened to music my life. I mean, when I was a kid, my parents would play vinyl records all the time, Elton John, Sam Cooke, Beatles, Stones, Willie Nelson. It was just a constant, you know, vinyl. Elvis Presley was huge in the house as well, and I just always loved music in my life. Kind of, you know, music moved me, so it was just kind of something I was doing, I guess, in college. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I ever really had aspirations to be anything big or small. It was just getting in front of people and playing.
Yeah. Now, you said music moved you. Now, it physically moved you. You moved from the West Coast to Nashville. How's living in Nashville influenced you as an artist?
It's made me look at the way I write songs a lot more. When I first got there, people said you had to have, when you write songs, you have to have a beginning and an end. You know, you have to have something in the middle. And when I used to write prior to that, I think I had that, but I didn't have it so structured. And I think I still keep the organic part of the songwriting together from beginning to end, but I do, you know, think about it a lot more when I'm writing. So that, and then, you know, going out and seeing all the country bands, and it's such a huge mix of bands in Nashville, from like rock to you know, you name it, it's there. So there's just tons of different music.
So did you feel you had a big break, or was it just hard work, you know, getting yourself in front of the public and getting yourself out there so that people knew who Don Gallardo was?
When that big break comes, let me know. I feel like I've just been working my butt off. You know, since I moved to Nashville, really, when I moved to Nashville, I really learned the music industry, from like publishing to songwriting to how the industry worked. And yeah, I've just been kind of busting my hind for about 8. I've been there 8 years, and you know, we play a lot of shows. Travis Stock over there, and yeah, it's influenced me. I've always listened to that style of music, you know. So I can't say there's more steel heard now, pedal steel, than there was in California.
Yeah.
But I had a pedal steel player in California. The musicians in Nashville are phenomenal. I mean, I honestly believe they're the best in the world. I mean, you can fill a band 7 deep of players if you just step in and play. Not as good as Travis Stock, but you can get just top notch. There's so many amazing musicians over there. It's insane how many people are.
Yeah. So, when was the first time you toured the UK, and how does it feel different, or does it feel different in any way, playing in front of UK crowds versus American crowds?
The first time I came over by myself, I did about 5 dates in about 10 days, and it was very amateur, kind of like, not amateur, but like very it wasn't set up with press, with anything like that. So it was just kind of my first introduction to the country. A friend of mine brought me over, and he paid for it, and he showed me that there is something here to be had with the music that I was playing. And so then I came back, I think it was a year later, with a four-piece band, Travis Stock, Andrew Squire and Clint Main, and we did a four-piece, and we did about, I think it was like 16 shows in 17 days. And this is about 5 years ago, and so this is my 6th tour in the UK, my 7th time being in England, and I mean, I think the audiences here are better than anywhere you can go. There's a big respect of, you know, the England, you guys listen, like no one talks when you're playing. You know, back home you just got the chatter of people, blah, 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 blah. And here it's just silent, and you play your songs and people are listening to you, which is really all you want. As a musician, all you want is for people to listen. Yeah,
and I think something that typifies the British scene, and this is borne out by many artists have said this, you know, from Brad Paisley to Little Big Town, is that because country music isn't mainstream over here, we get our music by buying the albums and listening to the albums from track 1 to track X.
Yeah.
And we know, you know, each of the tracks. So when Brad Paisley comes over here, he can play, you know, an obscure song off his 3rd album, and everyone's singing along. And I think that's probably, you know, a big differentiator between the UK and America, because in America with the syndicated radio stations, it's just, you know, it's this. You can go from state to state, station to station, and a majority of this is the same song. So you recently released your 4th album, Hickory, in the UK on Clubhouse Records. Tell us a bit about the album and how it came about.
The album came about, believe it or not, Mr. Travis Stock was wandering. He was at an Emmylou Harris show, and he ran into this engineer that had seen us play. I think it was about 3 years prior to this. We played in the venue where John Prine and Emmylou were playing. At the same time, we played before the show and at their set break, and then at the end. And this guy had seen us there, and he ended up running into Travis and saying, "Hey, you still playing with Don?" And Travis said, "Yeah." It's like, "Have you heard?" Travis said, "Have you heard our last CD now?" And Travis went and grabbed it and gave it to him, the Art of Troublesome Times record. And then he got my phone number from Travis, and he called me, I think it was like the next day, said, "You want to come out to lunch?" And so his name's David Pinkston, he produced the record and engineered it, and he wanted to do it. He approached me and said, "Let's do a new record." And I said, "Well, I got all the songs for it. You know, we've been playing a bunch of the newer stuff live." And so he called me up, and we met and put it together. And
so,
it's kind of I said this earlier in a different interview, but it's kind of like a coming out album as far as like, it's where I am musically and where we are as a band musically, and it's kind of, you can see the direction we're going. You know, all the other records are great, I love them all. This one we took a lot longer to make this one, and the other ones were a lot quick, you know, in and out of the studio, where this one was a little longer. And it wasn't because, it took longer because we were only in the studio like 2 hours one day, and then I'd get 3 hours another day, and then we'd go there for 6 hours one day, and it was stretched out for almost like 3 months or something like that. And it was just, it was because the engineer had a day job as well, but he's engineered like 25 records with Johnny Sandlin, who's done like all the Allman Brothers stuff. He's engineered like the Marshall Tucker Band, Linda Ronstadt, Delbert McClinton, tons of great stuff.
It's a great pedigree then.
Yeah, and he knows everyone in the industry, which is pretty cool. So we brought the band in, we did everything, and then we hired out some of the to get some other names on it. I don't know if I think it really did elevate the way the record came out. So.
And did it bring another dimension to your sound as well, having the addition?
It really did, yeah.
Okay, Hickory's had some great reviews, but what's your favourite track and why?
I know you showed me this already. I really like Diamonds and Gold. It's the second song on the album, and I like it. I think just because it's I don't know, it's an uplifting song. You know, kind of talks about looking for the never-ending road, and every day at the end is diamonds and gold. So you know, there's not a bad day. There's no war, no fighting, none of the bad stuff. Just a good spot to be in.
Okay. If you compared Hickory to your previous albums, how's it different?
I think just in the way we did it, we really honed in on the songs. We really knew the songs and just made sure everything kind of fell into place the right way. And you know, like I said, we took longer, so I think it just. I think it's the best one I've done so far. But not to take anything away from any of the other ones. I feel it's a good stepping stone.
We saw you play last night here at Maverick Festival as part of the Clubhouse Records Roll and Review. This isn't the first time you played here. What did you enjoy about the set last night? You're on stage with you, with the Rosellis, Emma Swift, Travis Stock, who's behind us.
Well, you know, I've seen the Rosellis in the past. We've met them, and they're on Clubhouse now. And I just love their musicianship. They're passionate about the way they play. And they have great songs themselves. And they came to Nashville and stayed at my house, and about 3 months ago, something like that. And we spoke about, hey, do you want to play with me? And they said, yeah. And I think it couldn't have worked out any better. And the piano player, we did at the Truck Festival last year, we did a big all-star thing. It was like a Tom Petty tribute, and Thomas was the organ player. And so he came out to my last show here last March, and I said, oh, I'm thinking of putting a band together. He's like, well, if you need a keyboard player, I said, I'd love one, because this record was layered with, like, I mean, the organ and the piano on this record are pretty prominent. And so I wanted that, and the guy Michael Holscher, who did it, he did like the first Alabama Shakes record, and he's in a band called Los Colones, and now he's playing with some act. I think her name's Emmylou Harris or something. So he's playing with Emmylou now. So he's just a phenomenal player. He played amazingly on it. And then Simon plays fiddle from the Rosellis, and the fiddle and the violin was like prominent on the record as well. So you know, I think it was a perfect fit for everybody to come together. I mean, I felt really good about our set last night. It was great. And then the All-Star Jam was everybody from, you know, Pete from Case Hardin, Simon's father, Alan, who's playing steel. If you hear steel in the background right now, he's that. And then there's Emma, Rebecca Roselli, Simon Roselli, Danny, and Tristan Tipping, Thomas, Travis Stock, Andrew Bridges, and there's one other. There's I think 11 people for most of the set, and there's 13 at times on stage doing a whole bunch of band songs and faces. And, we did the Billy Bragg Wilco song, California Stars. But it's just been a great. So I mean, it's the first night of tour. You can't have a better first night of tour.
And one final question: what's next for Don Gallardo?
Just keep on trucking. I don't know. I mean, just play it. You know, I know there's a lot of press going out. We're still trying to churn that wheel. No, sorry. We're still trying to churn the media wheel and get people to play. You know, Bob Harris played down in the valley one day. We're still trying to get him to hopefully get some more. And, we've had plays in Ireland and Scotland. And I think what's next, I'm really hoping that someone in the United States wants to pick up the album, because I don't want to release it on my own. So, which I will do, but someone come and talk to me. I think that's what's next. Just keep on playing, and you know, have a good family at home and good band to play with. So.
Excellent. Thanks, Don. Thanks for spending the time and talking to us. And thank you to Travis. He is here. Thanks very much.